another video. Welcome back to Life with Lisa. I can't believe I am here today. It is actually 9:32 p.m. Yes guys, you guys see that I am 100% dedicated to my YouTube channel as I have promised, and it is day 5 of VLOGMAS and I'm pretty excited. Today I have something really fun and something really cool that I want to do with you guys. It is something that interests me a lot. I am studying to be a lawyer, as some of you might know from my previous videos. So I'm going to do a reaction video to one of my favorite judges that I usually look at. So you guys would see, just make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm gonna be the next big thing. Okay, I'm just kind of playing. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you like, share, turn on post notifications. Leave comments below because I always enjoy reading you guys' comments. I did not forget, I have one person to shout out from my last video. We are actually at 320 followers. Yay! I appreciate you guys. We are on a roll. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Maybe I should say 4, but I'm aiming for 5. And I know that we can do this. So make sure you definitely like, share, subscribe, and comment. I want to go ahead and shout out Cycling Ajanaya 0.7005. 005. Thank you so much for leaving a comment. He said hope exam goes well, and thank you so much. It actually did, and I appreciate your comment. Guys, if you want to be shouted out just like Ajanaya, he does have his own YouTube channel as well, but if you want to be shouted out just like him, all you gotta do is leave a comment below in the comment section. And let's get into this video, okay? Peace. So I usually watch Injury Court on YouTube. Usually he deals with a lot of injury claims, and I just find it so interesting the way in which these matters are complex yet simple, and the way that he deals with them kind of shows that it's not that hard to be a lawyer. You kind of just need a degree, some experience, and you'll be good to go. So let's start, guys. Over.
Today on Personal Injury Court.
Mrs. Henderson invited me over to her house to try to rescue her cat that got stuck in a tree. The cat hisses at me and then jumps at me. I fall back and land on the ground.
I asked him to just throw some treats up into the air at the cat, not to climb up high.
Dr. Judd Weinberg, chiropractor. So this is a cervical spine injury.
That was a pretty severe kind of action, isn't it? You are suing for $240,000.
I'm not sure what the cat was trying to do.
Maybe you should have sued the cat.
Judge Gino Brogdon spent 10 years on the bench ruling on cases worth billions of dollars. Now he presides over some of the largest claims in TV history. This is Personal Injury Court.
Good day, everyone. This is the matter of Hepps versus Henderson. Mr. Hepps, it's my understanding that you're suing Ms. Henderson for injuries you sustained when you fell out of a tree on her property. You're asking this court to award you $30,000 for past medical expenses, $60,000 for future medical expenses, $150,000 for pain and suffering.
Listen, $30,000 for medical expenses, $60,000 for future medical bills, pain and suffering. In St. Vincent, you don't get these kind of money when you sue for these kinds of things. I don't even know if there are people who actually sue for these kind of situations, but if you are a lawyer from St. Vincent and you are seeing my video, do comment on any scenarios that you probably have seen where persons had to pay out a lump sum of money or so for injuries that another party sustained.
For a total award of $240,000, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Henderson, you believe that this is not your fault. He fell because he fell. You didn't do anything to cause that. Is that your position today?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, let's get into the legal side.
But it's you who called him to
Mr.
rescue
Hepps,
your
how did
cat,
you end up on Miss Henderson's property this day?
right?
I thought I moved into a beautiful neighborhood. I've been there for about 3 years, and it was my dream. I finally was able to purchase my first home. Has a pool in the backyard and everything. You know, I'm fairly young, so I do like to have, you know, a few parties and things like that, but it's nothing too extravagant. It's nothing too extravagant, sir.
All right.
And my neighbor here, you know, I understand she's a little elderly and people have lived there for quite a while, but, you know, I'm a good Southern boy. I was raised right. My parents taught me, you know, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, help your neighbors, stuff like that. You know,
That's good home training is what my
that's
folks
true.
would say.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All right.
Absolutely. And I do the best I can. And every now and again, Mrs. Henderson, she calls me over there to ask me to do odd ends and favors and things like that, which, you know, I try to oblige to.
How long have y'all been neighbors?
About 3 years, sir.
Miss Henderson, do you live by yourself?
I'm a widow on a fixed income since my husband passed.
You need to
and
get
I
a
live
man
with my 9 babies
and not
for my
bother your
9
neighbors.
cats.
You have 9
Or
cats.
hire
9
somebody.
lives, 9 cats. Yes, sir.
Okay. So is it in a respectful way? You're kind of a cat lover, right?
I love cats, and I have rescued a few, and they all have their distinct personalities, and I love every one of them. I can name them all for you.
I've got
Madeline.
10 brothers and sisters. Can you remember all your cats' names?
Well, yes, sir. I got Madeline and Sophie and Honeybun and Henniker
Girl.
and Poo Poo and Pirate and Shadow.
I can
and
imagine why you call him
Esther.
poo-poo. Huh?
Well, yeah, he does tend to do that.
So, Mr. Hepps, tell me what happened.
So, Mrs. Henderson invited me over to her house to try to rescue her cat that got stuck in a tree. She has 9 cats. I'm actually surprised how she even remembers which one is actually missing in the first place, Your Honor.
Miss Henderson, which cat was in the tree?
Sophie.
Okay, so Sophie's up in the tree. You're invited over. Then what happens?
So, you know, I go over, I grab the ladder out of her garage. I take the ladder to the backyard, pop it up against the tree. You know, I begin to climb the ladder. The cat gets scared. Okay, cool, I understand, but it starts running further up the tree. At this point, I already know now that this is going to be a longer ordeal than I actually wanted it to be, but I want to help her out. And so I go up to the tree, I reach for the cat, and as I'm looking down a little bit, I see Mrs. Henderson coming towards the bottom of the ladder.
Okay.
Then she starts screaming
I was not
at the cat,
screaming.
talking to, you know, trying to call its name, and then she starts throwing little treats at the cat in the tree. So as I'm reaching up for the cat, you know, I'm making the little sounds like, you know, cat people make or whatever to try to get it to come down. The cat jumps from one branch, jumps to another branch, and then all of a sudden a tree flies up, and then the cat's like coming at me, and I'm startled and shocked. Next thing I know, I hit the ground on the floor.
And that's how you got hurt.
Absolutely. And so now I'm laying here on the ground in pain, Your Honor.
How far?
Bro, it's not your cat. Why are you going to climb a tree for your neighbor's cat? For a tree? This is madness.
Did you fall?
I fell at least 10, 12 feet. The ladder was high, and I had to get all the way up
Well,
there to try to
obviously.
catch this cat. And then I'm laying there in pain, Your Honor.
Miss Henderson, were you doing that?
No, I was not throwing treats. What happened was one of my grandkids was over, and
None of this was helping, Your
Well,
Honor.
let me hear this. Your grandkids
my
were over.
and one of them left the door open.
What
so
does
he
your
gets
grandkids
out
have
and
to
gets
do
up
with
the tree.
anything?
And again, like I say, I hate to ask him because it's always grudging. But I asked him to coax her down to climb up a few steps on the ladder, coax her down with her favorite treats, Your Honor.
Well,
She
look
loves
here. If
because-
you know how to do it, Coach, then why don't
because-
you go ahead and do it yourself?
Because I know what my babies love.
Well, do it yourself.
I know what my babies love. I told him not to climb up that high. I don't know why he was up that high, although I came to find out that he had a hidden agenda, Your Honor.
Now, is this your first time on a ladder?
No, sir, it is not.
Indeed, it's
Absolutely not. It's actually a part of my job description, sir.
So, Miss Henderson, you watched all of this.
Well, yes, sir, Your Honor. I went back into the house to get more treats. When I came back out, I was shocked. I saw him way high in the tree. What was he doing so high? And he was shaking the limb, and all of a sudden,
Shaking the limb.
he was shaking the limb, and the cat jumps out, traumatized, scared, and then he falls off. But he's way up high. I never asked him to go up high for the cat.
So, do you think he scared your cat?
I,
One Not because you didn't ask him to go high. You asked him to go on the ladder to get the cat from the tree. You did not tell him how high to go, right? So let's just listen.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, if you were a cat and you were up high in a tree and it was shaking, you'd probably be scared too.
Coming up,
As I'm climbing up the tree, the cat gets scared. It jumps to the next bush over here. Then I'm reaching for it. Come on now, come on. Another treat comes up. I'm trying to get the cat down, and all of a sudden, the cat hisses at me and then jumps at me. And I felt attacked and threatened.
He was trying to tear this tree limb of mine off. He's been harping about this tree limb that was hanging over into his pool for quite a while.
State your name for the record.
Dr. Judd Weinberg, chiropractor. So this is a cervical spine injury.
The way that head whipped, that was a pretty severe kind of action, isn't it?
Yes.
Like, just imagine. I have a back injury and I don't
As
want
I'm reaching
a
up for the
neck
cat,
injury
I'm
at
making the
all.
little sounds that, cat people make or whatever to try to get it to come down. And then all of a sudden, a treat flies up, and then the cat's like coming at me. Next thing I know, I hit the ground on the floor.
I hit
I
the
told him
ground
not
on
to
the
climb
floor.
up that high. I don't know
Okay,
why
let
he
me
was
be
up that
serious.
high, although I came to find out that he had a hidden agenda, Your Honor.
Mr. Hepps, you submitted an exhibit to this court.
I did,
to
Your
explain
Honor.
what happened.
Absolutely.
Go to the monitor and explain to me what happened.
Yes, Your Honor.
Fake injuries.
So, Your Honor, like I said, I got the ladder from the garage. We placed it up against this tree right here. As I'm climbing up the tree, the cat gets scared. It jumps to the next bush over here. Then I'm reaching for it, trying to, come on now, come on. She starts throwing treats. The cat jumps to the other side, and I'm still trying to get the cat down out the tree. Now, I don't know what she's talking about by shaking bushes and whatnot, but again, another treat comes up. I'm trying to get the cat down, and all of a sudden, the cat hisses at me and then jumps at me. And I felt attacked and threatened. So I fall back off the ladder and land on the ground.
So while you're up on the top of that ladder, Miss Henderson is throwing treats up to the cat?
That is correct.
No, I was not. And like you said, Your Honor, this man he climbs poles for a living. There's a picture of him that I'm exhibiting.
She's making
on Facebook
excuses.
showing
I
him
don't
up-
believe her.
Up on poles.
Is
There
this you,
go.
Mr. Hepps?
Absolutely. Now, if you actually pay attention, you'll see that I have a safety harness on that actually helps prevent me from falling off these type of things.
Why didn't you have a safety harness on that?
Because this wasn't my job, Your Honor. It was a favor that I was doing for her.
So basically, Mr. Hepps, you feel that no good deed goes unpunished.
Apparently not. Not at all. I feel like, if I'm on your property, I fall off your ladder trying to do something for you, then why not? How is this not your fault?
You may return to the photo.
Yeah, because one of the factors that they have to consider is it's on
Ms.
her
Henderson,
property.
how is this not your fault?
I did try to tell him just to climb up a few steps, not to go way up in the tree.
He
tempt her
didn't
with
define
some
what's a
treats,
few, though.
and that's all. He took it upon himself to do this. Now, look, he understands ladder safety, understands safety in general from climbing.
Yes, ma'am.
So if there was a problem with the ladder, he would have known not to climb up high unless it was something that he wanted to do.
Mr. Hepps, tell me about your injuries.
I had actually broken my rib. I had sprained my neck. And then I have 2 herniated discs in my neck and my back.
To
That's
understand
crazy.
your injuries, this court has consulted Dr. Judd Weinberg. He's a chiropractor. Sheriff Matt, will you get Dr. Weinberg?
Yes, Your Honor.
Doctor, state your name for the record.
Dr. Judd Weinberg, chiropractor.
Can you explain Mr. Hepps' injuries?
Sure, I have an animation for you.
Yes, sir.
So this is a cervical spine injury. You'll see in the anatomy as they zoom in, the purple area here is called the nucleus, and the outside area is called the annulus, made out of cartilage. When the injury occurs, the nucleus gets pushed back and deforms the shape of the annulus, eventually pushing into the spinal nerve, creating a great deal of pain in the neck
painful,
as well
bro.
as down the arm.
Doc, the way that head whipped, that was a pretty severe kind of action, isn't it?
Right?
Yes, that's
was super painful.
a pretty standard accident, either from something like a car accident or a severe fall.
Mr. Hepps is suing for $60,000 in future medicals. What does that entail?
It would depend on what his case needs. and what kind of treatment. If he responds to conservative care, that would be very light chiropractic adjustment, rehabilitation exercises, traction, things of that nature. Again, if that was unsuccessful, then we would refer for spinal injections.
And if that doesn't work, they cut him open and repair it.
That would be a surgeon, yes.
Thank you, doctor. You are released. So, Ms. Henderson, this is a big deal.
Yes, indeed, Your Honor.
And you say this is not your fault.
Your Honor, as I said, I asked him to just throw some treats up into the air at the cat, to climb a few steps, not to climb up high.
He's trying to get your baby, though.
He doesn't care about the baby. He doesn't care about my cats. The problem is he was trying to tear this tree limb of mine off. He's been harping and belly aching. He's been harping about this tree limb that was hanging over into his pool for quite a while.
So this is something before he tried to rescue your cat.
Indeed.
All right, tell me about it.
It's just a few leaves, Your Honor. Like half a dozen leaves or so.
Few leaves? Are you serious?
And I've offered to help him clean them out, but
Imagine you try to help this woman.
what he's doing
fall,
actually up in the tree is trying
injured,
to break off this
and she
branch
can't
that's
walk the
leaning
tree.
over into his pool.
Ms. Henderson, you submitted a diagram to this court of your property beside Mr. Hepp's property. Will you go to the plasma,
Yes, sir.
please? Show me which branch you're talking about.
This, he was trying to cut off the whole branch that was leaning over into his property. You should have been glad to have a little shade, if you ask me.
Wow.
So, Mr. Hepps, were you
that's
complaining
some bull.
before about leaves in your pool?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
All the time.
Your Honor, it's way more than a few and how little. You can look at it right there. That's a lot of leaves that are falling into my pool.
Well, there's other trees around the
those
area.
leaves-
There's
those
not just
leaves
from
are-
my
They
leaves.
clogged up my filtration system, and I have to actually pay somebody to come out $225. And every time I ask her, hey, could you at least, reimburse me for it or pay half of it or something, no, she doesn't want to do any of that. And then I ask her for the simple solution, let's just cut it.
Ms. Henderson says you were shaking the branch trying to break it or something.
Yeah,
Your
that's
Honor,
what he was doing.
Your Honor,
Is that what you were doing?
while I was up there trying to grab her, help her cat, why not go ahead and try to break down the branch that's causing me this?
Yeah, why not mutilate my
So
property?
you were tugging on the branch that the cat was on.
Absolutely. I was gently pulling on the branch.
Gently.
If I was tugging any harder, the cat would have fallen out of the tree.
The cat did. The
So-
cat jumped.
so-
It was scared. She
It
was
jumped
scared.
Tell me, y'all gotta talk to me.
The fact
So
that
tell
he
me, if you're
admitted,
shaking the branch, are you trying to get the cat down or trying to tear the branch off?
I'm
Exactly.
trying to get the cat down, but I'm also tearing the branch off at the same time, Your Honor.
You're trying to pull this branch off. You're
Yes,
trying to get the cat down. You fall out of the tree, and it's supposed to be her fault?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
That's why I
Because
lost
the
his
cat
balance.
jumped at me. It
Now,
jumped
if
straight
he
across my
did not
face,
admit
trying
to
attack me.
that,
I'm not sure what
then-
the cat was trying to do.
Maybe you should have sued the cat.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
You can return to your podium.
I
but
can't even
then
go
there's
to
when he
work like
just
this because
proved that
obviously I
he
can't climb,
was
to
responsible for
fulfill my job right
part
now.
of his
Sounds like it's
And
been
then-
a painful experience. You're asking this
Absolutely.
court to give you $150,000
Absolutely.
just for.
Well, the fact that he went up in the tree on her behalf, she is 50 or so percent. Well, I don't know how much percent the judge will say, but she is responsible for part of his injuries, and also the fact that he pulled on the branch while he know that he doesn't have on any safety gear. As a trained person who does these things for a living, he would also be held responsible for some of his injuries. That's what I see, but we would have to hear what the judge says, right?
Pain and suffering.
Absolutely. Your Honor, right now, literally, I can't even get a haircut. That's a normal part of a man's duty, is just getting a haircut. That's simple stuff.
Ms. Henderson, this was your property.
Indeed, it was, sir. But he agreed to help with my cat, and he.
But did he ask you, can I rescue your cat? Or did you summon him to rescue your cat?
I asked him if he could help, but then he also, while he was doing it, he climbed up high, which I told him not to do.
He went higher than you intended him to go.
Exactly, he went way high up in the branch so he could get in the tree, so he could get to that branch and tear it off.
Folks, I think I've heard enough. I'm ready to render my decision. In every
Ready to
personal
have his
injury case, the plaintiff, you, Mr. Hepps, you have to prove three things. You've got to prove that Ms. Henderson was wrong and that her wrong caused your injuries. Here, you've produced evidence to this court that you tried to do something that was very kind and noble. That is, upon request, you
and
went
the
up
fact
to
that she was
rescue one of her
throwing
babies from
treats
the
as
tree.
well.
Yes, Your Honor.
The law imposes
You have to
upon
consider
you
that.
the responsibility to take care of yourself. That is a basic tenet of the law. If you take on a task, you got to take care of yourself and keep yourself safe. It sounds like you tried to do that.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Henderson, you say this is his fault because he was tugging on that branch. Had he not been so concerned about the leaves in his pool, he would have gotten down safely and your cat also would have been safe. He brought on his own injuries. Here, the law requires me to look at the conduct of everyone. It's an issue of comparative negligence. It's usually present in most negligence cases. I am weighing the conduct and contribution to the outcome of both parties. Here, you were throwing treats up to the cat. You were yanking on the branch, knowing that this probably wasn't safe. Both of you contributed to this outcome. I find you equally at fault. And 50-50, Mr. Hepps, you lose. I find in your favor, Ms. Henderson, and against Mr. Hepps. This is my final verdict, and this matter is adjourned.
I told you the fact that he said he was tagging on the branch, it indicates clearly that he caused part of his injuries. And the thing is, with this injury code, if the claims are 50-50, then automatically the person who is trying to claim for damages loses.
What's she face? But thank you, and she laughing. So clearly you really don't care about what happened to your neighbor then. I would have gone cut down switch myself.
The whole tree. And then the money, I would have went, cut down her whole tree myself, and as revenge. And then she could have come sue me now. Okay, no, I'm just joking. But yeah, guys, that is basically one case that I will introduce on my channel. There are many more to come, but I wanted to just introduce this in VLOGMAS because this is part of who I am and part of who I am becoming. I am learning and understanding the law, and I'm willing to share views on the law. So if you guys do have recommended videos that you would like me to see, recommend topics that you would like to hear me speak on based on whatever knowledge that I have, then you can definitely leave links or descriptions of YouTube video links only, guys, in my description below, or leave any topics that you guys would like me to highlight, and I definitely will. But yeah, this is one of my reaction videos, and I actually enjoyed it. I actually enjoy looking at YouTube videos where it has to do with injuries and court proceedings. I just enjoy them. Maybe that's why I wanted to become a lawyer. Maybe. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to VLOGMAS Day 5. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment below to be shouted out in my next YouTube video. I appreciate you guys, and have a good day. Mwah. Bye.